Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Your favorite season is back, and now's the time you can score savings at the Team Automotive Group. You can sell your vehicle to us, and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Score VIP service and save at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your little slice of South Louisiana heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours. Our thoughts and prayers this morning are with our fellow Americans in the great state of Florida after Hurricane Ian slammed ashore as a Cat 4 Wednesday afternoon. Maximum sustained winds clocked at 140 miles an hour. Forgive me, gusting winds at 140 miles an hour. In an interview on ABC's Good Morning America, the sheriff of Lee County, Carmine Marcino, said that fatalities in his county alone are in, quote, the hundreds. Forecasters are warning, obviously, that the danger is far from over, including impacts from strong winds, heavy rain, and a record storm surge. The Storm Center warning that the life-threatening storm surge is expected to last through Friday along the coasts of northwestern Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. To show you the size of this storm, tropical storm force winds were encountered as far as 415 miles from the eye of the storm. Obviously, here in South Louisiana, we are intricately familiar with the forces that Mother Nature unleashes at times like these. So, if you would, those of you that are members of the community of faith, be so kind as to keep those good people in your thoughts and in your prayers. Obviously, this is the time of year where we witness the best humanity has to offer and the worst humanity has to offer. After this storm completely passes and we get a complete picture of the devastation caused and the loss of life, the scammers are going to come out of the woodwork. It is a sad commentary that there are people in this world that seek to capitalize on the misery of others. And as is the case, despite the demonization of this country and those on the left, there's going to be an outpouring of support from the American public that is unparalleled across the planet. Now, that being said, we want you, when you give, to do your due diligence. There's the only thing worse than seeing the destruction, the death, the misery, is attempting to help by giving, only to find out later on that it was a scam. It is, my humble opinion only, a very special place in hell reserved for individuals that go out of their way to capitalize on the misery of other people. These folks are going to be dealing with this for quite some time, as we well know here in South Louisiana. So, word to the wise, do your due diligence beforehand, if you will. Speaking of scams, quick note, there is word out now of a new gift card scam that is floating around. Here's how it works. The Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office says that scammers are identifying themselves as leaders of specific churches. Speaking of a special place in hell, you would identify yourself falsely as being affiliated with a certain church, asking people to purchase gift cards and send them a picture of it. According to law enforcement, what happens is once you purchase the gift card and then send the scammers a picture of it, they then have the number of the gift card, and that's all they need to hijack the funds. Again, it is truly a sad commentary that we have people among us that would resort to things like this, much less in the name of a church. But it's your money. We want you to keep it. We want it to end up where you want it to go. So before you succumb to the goodness of your heart, and it pains me to say that, but it's that time of year. The holidays are rolling around, hurricane season in full swing. Your heart, your emotions are in the right place. You want to help people. But sadly, there are a lot of folk out there that have dedicated themselves to separating you from your hard-earned money. We don't want that to happen. Do your due diligence, my friends. Here at home, there has been a growing outcry regarding the East Baton Rouge Parish Public School System and their Day of Hope. Have you been keeping up with this story? It was an instance where initially it was only a small number of schools and students. This year, for whatever reason, the Day of Hope involved a much larger swath of students in the public school system. And an outcry has erupted now because during the course of what many thought was going to be a career fair oriented day, ended up with kids being preached to, literally, about abstinence, sexual violence, voting, things of that nature. As you can imagine, not everybody was pleased with how this all unfolded. The school board now is coming out and saying, well, we weren't aware that this was going to take place, and this was largely because there is a $10,000 floor where if a contract is awarded, you have to come before the board if it's 10 grand or more and give them the specifics of what's going to take place. Well, the Day of Hope had a price tag of $9,800, $200 below. So no questions were asked. It went on as planned, and now a lawsuit is being threatened. Let me say for the record, y'all, I understand, particularly as a conservative, wholeheartedly the separation of church and state. Many of us don't want to see government/taxpayer dollars used in this fashion. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. Some of y'all not going to like it. That's okay. It ain't the first time. It won't be the last time. Get used to it. At the end of the day, The fact of the matter is, particularly in the black community, and the numbers are bad across the board, but the EBR school system is predominantly African American. At the end of the day, when 70+% of the babies born in the black community will be born to a fatherless household, no dad in the home, single parent, there needs to be a conversation about abstinence, pure and simple. When we witness the ages of juvenile offenders get lower and lower and lower, and the horrific nature of their crimes get bolder and bolder and bolder, that conversation needs to be held. Now, you can very easily make the argument, and you would be right, that these are conversations that should be had at home. I get where those that are upset about how this all unfolded don't want government, as in this case, the school system, the ones leading the conversation. But again, it goes back to what you've heard me say God knows how many times. When you fail to govern yourself, you in essence consent to be governed. If we as parents were having the conversations, meaningful conversations, with our kids about abstinence, there would be no need for some church group to solicit the school system to have these conversations. If we were riding herd, and y'all may not like that choice of phrasing, but that's on you. The numbers are what the numbers are. If we were having these conversations about crime and violence with our kids at home, there would be no need for an outside agency to round the kids up and talk to them about it. The problems that we're talking about here are progressively getting worse. And at the end of the day, if you have a problem with the school system doing it, then I hope you realize this is an indictment of parenthood. This is not an indictment of the school system. The school system is only dealing with the product that we send them. I just don't understand what the kids in school are doing these days. They're fighting and they're shooting and this, that, and the other. Well, these aren't the school system's children. These are our children. And it is becoming painfully obvious, increasingly, every single day, that we are not parenting the way we should. It's not all that hard to figure out, y'all. Look back in the very recent past. We didn't have these problems in schools. Of course, now, we didn't have these problems in society as well. So to blame it all on law enforcement, the school system, what have you, I think is patently unfair. Not only is it unfair, it's unrealistic. Of course, it's always easier to point the finger of blame than it is to look in the mirror. Just saying. Speaking of problems, well, we've got a big one in EBR, and it is mirroring other municipalities, not just in Louisiana, but across the country. We'll talk about that when we continue the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Valello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent.
Depend on us for service, for selection, for price.
Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Valello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The 2022 Mazda CX-5 with iActive all-wheel drive and available turbo engine. It truly ignites the senses.
Save on your new CX-5 right now during the season of discovery at Team Mazda.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. If you were with us heading into the preceding commercial break, you know that I referenced in this segment, I guess it's not appropriate to say Houston, so I'll say Louisiana, we got a problem. In recent memory, and maybe it's the advent of the 24-hour news cycle, the promulgation of social media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we are now more than ever paying more attention to the judiciary in our state and our nation. Recently, here in Baton Rouge, missteps, for lack of a better word, and very, very bad decisions by judges has risen to the forefront. In the last week, there were two instances that showcased the problem we have. Two individuals out on bond for allegations of deadly crime, committing more heinously violent acts. And unfortunately, it appears that this is just the tip of the iceberg. For example, this week, federal marshals ended up rearresting and capturing an inmate from West Baton Rouge that escaped a work release facility. According to Major Zachary Simmers with the West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office, 22-year-old Keandre Shepard scaled a fence at the West Baton Rouge work release facility and made his escape. U.S. Marshals and deputies worked together to capture him in North Baton Rouge. Here's what's really troubling about this case. Court records reveal that Mr. Shepard was arrested in 2018 after being accused of robbing his mother's ex-boyfriend. This was in 2018, the arrest. The following year, 2019, keep this in mind, 3 years ago, he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 16 and a half years behind bars. So let me get this straight. 3 years ago, he was handed a sentence of 16 and a half years behind bars, and he's already in work release? Now, I will be the first to admit I don't know all the intricate inner workings of work release programs. But I was always of the opinion that typically when it comes to work release, that's something that typically occurs around the time of your release. Prior to your release, if you've had good behavior, we allow you to work to expedite your reintegration into free society. This guy got 16 and a half years, and after 3, he's on work release and escapes. Meanwhile, it was also revealed this week that a 15-year-old here in Baton Rouge, arrested and wearing an ankle monitor for a shooting, then goes out and shoots up a car at the school he attends. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. The name of the school? The Second Chance Academy. Well, there goes your second chance. You do realize 3 strikes and you're out, right? Last chance. 15 years old with an ankle monitor from allegedly a preceding shooting, then goes and shoots up a car at a school. Louisiana, we got a problem. Additionally, we also find out this week, and this guy, judge, has a history behind some of his decisions. We find out that the judge that was forced to reverse an earlier decision where a 30-year-old rapes a 16-year-old, gets her pregnant, the judge awards custody to the rapist, and if that weren't bad enough, demands the woman pay child support. So we find out this week, Judge Jeffrey Cash out in Tickfaw allegedly has a 7-year-old girl molested by a registered sex offender and his brother last year, allows 3 weekends a month of unsupervised visitation. Something's rotten in Denmark, y'all. You know, it occurred to me, and listen, y'all, I get it. I understand how much everybody has on their plate. With COVID, with the economy, with inflation, with crime, I get all that. prior to recent memory, when it came to the average person going to vote, judgeships were probably something we paid the least amount of attention to. Most people, I would imagine, and I have no statistical data to back it up, it's just a gut feeling and a conclusion I've come to after having conversations with everyday people. When it comes to judgeships, most people, at least the ones I talk to, will either vote typically on party lines, whether they have a D or an R behind their name, or who puts out the most yard signs in the neighborhood and the community where you live, or who has the catchiest commercials. Watching what is unfolding on our streets before our very eyes, judges, the races for judgeships, have now become something that we need to pay equal, if not more, attention to. We have judges that are letting people back on the streets with literally no accountability in the midst of crime going through the roof. It's a sad commentary, y'all. And while it's easy to point the finger of blame at the respective judges, you do realize who it is that put them there. Do you not? These are elected positions, which means ultimately the finger of blame comes back to us. It's obvious that either one of two things happened. Either in running for these offices, they completely, totally, willfully misrepresented themselves to the voters. Either that, or we, the voting public, didn't do our due diligence. We didn't research these people. We didn't look at their records. We didn't ask the pertinent questions. And as a result, now we end up with individuals accused of an alleged crime, let back out, and before they can even get to trial for that horrific crime, they've committed another one. How else do you explain a 15-year-old arrested for allegedly shooting someone, then going out and shooting up a car at a school with an ankle bracelet? You could very well say, wait a minute, Clarence, wait a minute. Don't put that on the judges. That's on the parents. And there would be some validity to that. But it is the judge's responsibility before releasing this 15-year-old or a 17 or a 19 or a 21 or a 39-year-old for that matter. It is the judge's responsibility to research the home setting, the work history, all of the things involved before deciding, yeah, I'll let him out with just an ankle monitor. Fortunately, in the case of this 15-year-old, there were no fatalities or injuries. But is that a chance we should be willing to take? Sadly, and we're going to talk about this when we come back from the bottom of the hour break, it is something that is permeating all of our society. And sadly, it appears as though as bad as it is on this level, it's just as bad at the very top. Bottom of the hour break, and we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Your favorite season is back, and now's the time you can score savings at the Team Automotive Group. You can sell your vehicle to us, and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Score VIP service and save at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders?
Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back for the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, despite the music dropping out on me and Marty giving me late cues and all that kind of good stuff. You know, the old adage comes to mind, stuff rolls downhill. And if you've heard the saying before, you know it's not stuff, but it's a family show, so I can't go there. In recent memory, we have watched misstep after misstep after misstep, misspeak after misspeak after misspeak from the White House. I was trying to remember the other night the last time there's been an administration in this country, the White House, where something was said and as regular as clockwork, the rest of the minions had to walk it back or clean it up. It is particularly troubling that a country that prides itself on being the leader of the free world now has people heading up agencies, departments, entities, institutions that, as regular as clockwork, say things and immediately thereafter, what I have now dubbed the see what had happened was department rushes in to clean it up. For example, Vice President Kamala Harris this week makes a trip to South Korea. And the queen of the word salad struck again. On any other day, it probably wouldn't be that big a deal if you are in South Korea, as she was, at the DMZ. Young people, that's the demilitarized zone. If she mistakenly said, I'm here to confirm America's long-standing, unequivocal support for the Republic of North Korea. What's troubling about that statement is, one, no one corrected her. Madam Vice President, we support South Korea, not North Korea. But on top of that, we've had troops stationed there for over 70 years. 7 decades. Anyone that has followed geopolitics, anyone that knows anything about American history, anyone who has followed any of the military exploits of our fighting men and women knows South Korea, good, North Korea, bad. Maybe that's why she has earned the moniker of being the most unprepared person to ever walk the halls of the White House. Now, her boss, not a whole lot better. However, in his case, we all know you can look in the man's eyes, y'all, and you can see he's not all there. This is not to be ugly. It's not a knock, because anybody who's ever had a family member dealing with Alzheimer's or dementia knows what it's like. You can look in the man's eyes and see, plain as day, that the leader of the free world is not all there. So it wasn't, I guess, all that surprising this week when the leader of the free world is looking for, asking people, where is Jackie? The United States Congresswoman that died a month ago in a horrific car crash. The White House, meanwhile, Karine Jean-Pierre, tried to clean it up, saying, well, it's because she was on the top of his mind, and at this event, he had planned to pay tribute to her and her family for the work that she'd done on this particular piece of legislation. If this was on the top of your mind and you were to honor her work and her family, it should have been painfully obvious that she's now deceased. It's getting to the point now, y'all, where not only is it embarrassing, but it's scary. It's dangerous. On any given day, at any given moment, God only knows, and he might be scratching his head too, what Kamala Harris and or Joe Biden and Karine Jean-Pierre are going to say to the American people. On any given day, we have no idea where he's coming from, where he's going, nor does he, for that matter. When the man has to be rescued by the Easter Bunny, something's rotten in Denmark, y'all. When he is asking people on stage, well, where's Jackie? Where's Jackie? We're supposed to honor her today. And bless her heart, she's deceased a month now. Listen, y'all. I and many of you watching right now have had the unpleasant experience of dealing with people that are going through dementia and Alzheimer's. We know what it's like. There's a whole lot of you watching right now that have gone through the unpleasantness of having to take a loved one's car keys and hide them because they are a danger to themselves and the rest of the motoring public. We've been there and we've done that. We've gone through the unpleasant decision-making process of not allowing them in the kitchen to cook anymore because they'll leave the stove on and burn the house down. We've been there. But in this instance, those on the left and the Democrat Party and the mainstream media in collusion with, not only did they not take the car keys, they went out and bought them a brand new vehicle with the biggest engine they could get and turned them loose on the highway. There is no way on God's green earth you will ever convince me and any rational person that those on the left, the Democrat Party, and probably just because most of them are stupid, the members of the mainstream media did not know that this man is compromised in his mind. There's no way. Now, Kamala Harris, that's a different story. Allegedly, all of her mental faculties are intact. And yet, less than 8% of her own party wanted her as president. If you don't think for 1 second that something's wrong with this picture, you're the problem. Hopefully, you will see through this gross miscarriage that has been perpetrated on this great country. And hopefully, you, after watching this unfold, will govern yourself accordingly the next time you step into the voting booth. If you go to the grocery store and you're happy with how much you have to pull out of your wallet, then keep voting the way you vote. If you are happy with the explosion in crime in major cities all across the length and breadth of this grand republic, then keep voting the way you've been voting. If you are okay with the millions of people entering this country illegally, some of whom, over at last count, 24 that are on the terrorist watch list, and you vote Democrat, then keep voting Democrat. But if you care about the well-being of your wallet, your household, the lives of your loved ones, your co-workers, your friends, and your fellow Americans, maybe you'll govern yourself accordingly the next time you have the opportunity to vote. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. I'm going to give you guys and girls a heads up, because as we get closer and closer and closer to midterms, you're going to hear a lot more of this. Recently, in a meeting of Hispanic realtors in San Diego, California, the keynote speaker was former President Barack Obama. And as you might imagine, he blamed all the opposition to illegal immigration in this country on, wait for it, racism. The former president going out of his way to demonize half of this country, saying, and I quote, "Right now, the biggest fuel behind the Republican agenda is related to immigration and the fear that somehow America's character is going to be changed if people of darker shades, there are too many of them here. Here's what I want you guys and girls to be aware of. Two things. Number one, apparently the former president hasn't seen any of the polls that say the majority of Hispanics here are against illegal immigration. So apparently he has no idea that all these brown-skinned people are against allowing millions of their fellow brown-skinned people to just walk across the border and set up shop. But blame it on racism. Can't play that card enough. Now, in the coming weeks ahead, as we get closer and closer to the midterm elections, get ready. Because there's going to be demonization on this issue, demonization on this issue, demonization on every freaking issue there. You know, years ago, after watching politics so very closely for all these years, I came to the realization I will never, ever in life vote again for someone who spends all of their time telling me why I should not vote for the person running against them, instead of telling me why I should vote for them. It's easy. You've heard me say some people would rather have a grievance than a job. Some people realize it's a whole lot more convenient to point the finger of blame at someone. It takes a lot more work to get off of your you-know-what and fix a problem. Of course, now, here's what you got to realize. Why is it that those on the left and the mainstream media spend an inordinate amount of time talking about Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, orange man bad, bad orange man? You know why this is? Think about this. You can't spend your time telling me what a great job Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done fighting inflation. Why? Because they haven't. You can't spend your time telling me I should vote for you because we fixed the supply chain crisis. Why can't they tell me that? Because they haven't. They can't spend time telling me, you're a new mother, vote for me because look, you go to the store and there's lots of baby formula on the shelves. They can't say that because they haven't. They can't say, you need to vote for us because look at the great job we did tamping down illegal immigration at our southern border. They can't say that because they haven't. They can't say, you need to vote for us because look how we have improved our standing in the international community. They can't do it because they haven't. Every single issue facing this country that they have encountered, they have screwed it up royally. So the only thing that they're left with is demonizing other people, calling them ugly names, and pretty much telling you outright lies about them. Why? Because they haven't done anything to make you want to vote for them. Here's an exercise in futility. Name me, not 3, not 2. Name me one single thing that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done a marvelous job of fixing in this country. Just one. I'll wait, because you're going to need the time. You can't. Why? Because they haven't. And yet, some of you clowns are going to still vote Democrat. Who was it, Marty? Dalton Honore said you can't fix stupid? Isn't he the one that coined that phrase? Don't get stuck on stupid. Yeah, that's the phrase. Name one single thing that you can hold up as a shining example. Look what a marvelous job they did on fixing this problem. That, my friends, my fellow Americans, that should tell you everything you need to know. You know, the law of averages gives you 1 out of 10. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you do it 10 times, the law of averages says you're supposed to be successful on at least one of them. Not a single solitary thing. And they will have you believe they're the most qualified group of people on the planet. My late father, God bless him, Sarge taught all of his children early in life. I can hear his voice in my head right now. Son, there's nothing worse than an educated fool. You can have every degree in the world, every letter of the alphabet behind your name, but without common sense, it's useless. There's another old adage that says power without control is nothing. All you have to do is look at our government and where they're leading this country, and both of those adages become real clear real quick. Just saying. My time's up, and I gotta go. But once again, this day, maybe more so than any other day in history, I give it to you. You know what? You are dead on. You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, I know you got the memo. I know you read the email. I know UPS dropped the notice at your house. The good Lord loves you much, and I hope you know that I do too. Then again, really doesn't matter, because there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you soon. God bless.